Hey everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Wayfair News meteorologist Brian Good here, and today at least we have some quiet weather to somewhat enjoy. It's not going to be a beautiful day, but it'll be a quieter day. The leftovers of the system moving out of our area now, influencing potentially some gusty thunderstorms in our far eastern counties, our far eastern areas of the country, I should say, not our counties. And then our hints of our deck system already showing up today. In fact, we will begin to see that risk expand tomorrow. Marginal risk gets up to Evansville, slight risk to Paducah, and then enhanced, getting close to Jonesboro, once again into Arkansas. And then by the time we get into Thursday, especially Thursday night, the enhanced to our southwest, wave country kind of divided with slight risk. This looks very similar to the last one. The difference, and there are differences, mainly timing and how the system approaches the area, and I'll explain on that coming up in a few minutes. Let's get you through today, though. One little issue I need to bring to your attention. We got fog out there now in spots. The ceiling's only 500 feet. I mean, if you can jump high enough, you may be able to touch the cloud. I mean, that may be a stretch, but some of you are pretty good jumpers. 57 now. Cloud deck on the back side of this low. Where we'll be watching for later today, and the high-res models keep hinting at it, is there's a bit of dry air trying to mix in and break the cloud deck up across northern Indiana. That will then work its way into northeast Kentucky around 2, 3 o'clock today. Question is, are we going to break out a little bit of sun during that time or not? Because if we do, as this little wave passes in, then it won't take long for the atmosphere to respond, and you'll get these little speckles, these little showers to develop. Now, at the moment, they look like showers, but there have been hints, just very small hints of some cape or instability, that there could be an isolated thunder shower that could develop. And it's so cold aloft that if there were to be a thunder shower, it would likely produce small hail, like pea-sized hail. Right now, the threat looks to be more of an issue for I-75 than it does here into I-65 corridor. But we do have a small rain chance in to account for this possibility this afternoon. I really think it will depend on if we see that cloud deck break up. And sometimes the models are too aggressive on that. And then we'll maybe find ourselves facing a cloud bank that'll work its way in, or a fog bank, I should say, is waiting until late tonight and early tomorrow morning. So tomorrow looks quiet. No major issues I can see there. A cooler day. But then we get into Thursday. Here's how the overall setup plays out. Warm front in the morning hours. You will know it. Temperatures will skyrocket through the day. Question is, how much sun action are we going to get breaking through? And I think we'll get enough to get us very close to 80 degrees. I think, once again, the models are too low with the numbers. Therefore, we've got our high right now at 79. And then we'll deal with the thunderstorms. Now, here's the difference I was talking about, how it's approaching itself more into a training effect area along the Ohio River versus a situation of a line of thunderstorms that move through or pop-up thunderstorms over us. It's a bit different. It's more of a setup that looks like to be where we get basically a blob of rain that sets up shop right along the Ohio River, and that could lead to some flooding issues Thursday night and early Friday. That's something that we'll just have to monitor. Here's the NAM model. It can see, certainly here's the warm front in the morning hours. Look at the wind direction changing southeast and then eventually south. You can see the difference. In fact, let me add the temperatures on. Look at the range here. We got Louisville around 58 that morning. It's around 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And then it's 70 in Bowling Green. So very tight gradient for the warm front as it begins to push that warm air right into the area throughout the morning period. Now, it's not hinted at anything developing along the warm front yet. Can't rule it out. What it's trying to focus on is the showers, thunderstorms from the night before that will be heading toward us, but weakening as they race toward wave country. So this will be a weakening band as it marches eastbound. That's important too, because if it holds together too long, that will mess up the sunny idea for the afternoon period and therefore affect the high temperature. But I think it'll fade out. Most likely scenario in this kind of a deal, they fade out. And you'll get maybe some cirrus clouds overhead, but I think they'll fade out enough. In fact, you can see how that fading out happens in the afternoon. And that is when I think we'll get the warmest period. Meanwhile, while we're enjoying the warm weather, closer to the low pressure, thunderstorms ignite, and this is where your severe potential certainly is going to be at. I could totally understand why they have an enhanced risk in Arkansas heading to the east here, because that is where your prime area is going to be for the max heating of the day and close to that low pressure. By the time the low hits in our area, it's going to be toward the evening, so a bit later compared to the past one that moved through. But the low is going to aim itself again. The moisture flow is going to be parallel to the track of the low the way it's looking, and depending on how active these thunderstorms get in Arkansas will depend on how well, they can form into a line that may train itself, and the low will kind of just drag that heavy rain band right up the southern Indiana, northern Kentucky corridor. And then Friday, it may take a while, but we'll eventually get that low out of here to the east. We'll enjoy a nice but cool weekend, especially at night. Saturday night will be cool. Then we got our next system moving in for Monday. Here's the GFS, Euro, and the Canadian operational and ensembles of each model. Notice the GFS is much slower at the low, taking its sweet time getting in here and a little bit more to the south. The Euro is fast, brings it in here quickly into Monday morning, in fact. And the ensembles match their own ideas. Now, the Canadian seems to be confused. It wants to split the two ideas up. It's not playing fair, is it? So still some timing issues for this low. When is it going to arrive Monday? But that one could be a heavy rainmaker. So why so much of the heavy rainmakers moving in? The Gulf is warm right now. We're even seeing hints every once in a while in the Western Atlantic and the Caribbean of some tropical activity trying to develop. GFS is trying to develop something in the Gulf in the coming days and weeks. So this is the fact that the Gulf is running a bit above normal. This is really going to add a lot of moisture into the southeast corner of the country. So we got to watch for the heavy rain threat, certainly. So something we'll be monitoring as we head into April.